Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do some pom-poms. Now there's quite a few bits in front of me. That's because there's quite a few different ways you can do it based on different dexterity levels. I have, throughout my working career, working as a support worker, continue to find easier and easier ways for people who love to make pom-poms because they're very sensory, able to make them, because the old school way, where you have two circles, which I'll do a mini example of here, which a lot of people are familiar with, isn't the easiest way by far. I find it really annoying to do, because if you want to make a pom-pom, say about that size, you can't use a full ball of wool, and I will show you why in a second. Let's just cut these, bring that over there so you can actually see what I'm doing. Cut a couple of circles out. And then we're gonna, these aren't going to be perfect, so they're just an example to show you. Cut a couple of holes out, so we're making a couple of donuts essentially. A couple of little cardboard donuts. And a lot of you will be familiar with this method, so it's one of the older ones. Again, this won't be perfect, so I'm not going to make one using this method because it is annoying and not easy. And there are much easier, less annoying ways to do this, so you can actually have more fun making more pom-poms rather than getting frustrated making one little one. So, put all that over there for now. The old school way is you have your two circles, your two donuts, and even if we pick like a smaller ball of wool here, problem number one, you got to force all of that through that hole. You can't always do that, especially if it's a tight ball, and some people, they'll bind them up so that they're an actual ball of wool. So you'd end up having to cut off strips and do it a little piece at a time, building it around and around and around. So you're going to have to keep cutting lots of little strips just to get one done. And then when you're done, you have to fight with getting your scissors between the really tightly closed gap at that point. I'll just I'll go a little bit further. I'll do one roll to show you. So for one, you've already got extra bits to be aware of because there's little straggly bits hanging around the place. You've got to keep feeding it through, feeding it through. As you can see, this isn't the most productive or easiest way. Your fingers can fall over themselves, and if you have some dexterity issues anyway, if you can't grip things very well, or you don't have very good hand-eye coordination, this can end up being more of a frustrating experience than a relaxing one, which is why I doubt I'm even going to get a full one done. But we'll just do this little strip here just to show you how tight it ends up, because no one wants a weak pom-pom. Most people want a nice full one. We're already getting little bits that don't want to stay in their places. So we're going to keep, let's say we'll just do this little section. It's only had a couple of layers at this point. And I'm going to pick a point in the middle. I'm not going to cheat and go by the edge here to show you how much of a chore it is to try and get your scissors in there. So imagine that's gone all the way around. Now you've got to try and find a gap to wheedle your scissors in without cutting your finger. And it's just so annoying. You might not even get it. You usually have to like poke everything aside to try and find out where that gap is in between the two. Or what I used to do as a child was I'd find an edge to slide it under and start cutting. That is a very dated, time-consuming, frustrating experience. And I worked with a lot of people who would love doing this all day long. And if you make a really big one, this can be somewhat fun, but you have to make a donut so big that you can squeeze a ball of wool through. And some people do like this method. So if you do like this method, well done you for being so determined and dexterous enough and patient enough to do this. And I'm quite a patient person, but even as a child I'd find this just too much for my child brain to focus on, and it just wouldn't be fun. So the next way that I found, I'll put that over there, was an next step in the easy direction, and that's to have just one piece of card. You cut an oblong out, like so. Put that back over there. And then what you do is on one half of your oblong, like going lengthways, is you cut a little window out, let's say about halfway down. Cut a little window out. So you have something like this, oblong with a little window. Now this is the bit that you hold, and this is the bit that you can wrap around. And instead of having to cut little strips off, you can get your full ball of wool. Let's find our end. And all you have to do is just wrap it around the window. You don't have to keep pulling bits out. You haven't got to thread it in and out and pull bits through and get tangled over yourself. It's a nice, easy approach. Now, as you're doing this, you want to make sure you leave a gap in the window here. So that's going to be where you tie your pom-pom together. So we'll make ourselves a nice one here. I'm going to make it fairly chunky, because I like chunky pom-poms. Some people like the floppy ones. I like the chunky ones. So you can see how easy this is. You can hold it in many different places. It doesn't matter if you put it down. It's all going to stay in its place for you. So I'm going to use the majority of this ball of wool here just to show. So we've got a nice chunky build up. We'll go a little bit more than that, and we've still got our window, because it's really important to keep that window. And obviously you don't want to slip off the edge, otherwise your pom-pom will all fall apart. So we're going to stick in that middle there, make it a little bit chunkier, and then we'll cut it off there. And now, this is how I do it anyway, we're going to get ourselves another little piece. Let's pop him over there at the moment with the little scrappy bits, because they'll come in handy for something. And we're going to tie right through. So we're going to come in through that little window and then bring it around and come in that other gap there. So we've gone right round the back here. We've come in round the front, and we're going to just tie it nice and tight, like as tight as you can. The tighter you make it, the less chance your pom-pom has of falling apart. And I like to do this a couple of times, so I'll bring it back through the window, tie it up around the back as well, because we don't want any of our pom-pom strands to fall out. Make that nice and snug. And we'll just leave those bits because they will become part of the pom-pom too, or you can have those, if you make it a bit longer, that can be your bit that you use to attach it to things with. Now we can just slip it up the side here and cut. So much easier. And then same for this side, slip it up the side there and cut. And you can just pop it out the middle there. And we have a nice, quick, easy pom-pom. So this is a really good method. This one's nice and easy. Little window, keep a little slot for your finger, about finger size. That's where you're going to thread your tying piece through. And there we go. So that's that one. You can see it's rather nice. We'll have a look at how we tidy them up in a moment. So we'll pop him over there. So that's that one. This one is the even easier method. Toilet roll tubes. This one is even easier than the cardboard one because you don't have to cut a window out. So you just want two. You haven't got to stick them together or anything. 2 toilet roll tubes. We'll go for this ball of wool this time, and again you don't have to cut strips off. You can use your ball of wool straight off the pack, and then you just wrap it around the whole thing. So again we'll make a fairly chunky one, and this one's even easier because it's easier to hold. There's a couple of points you can hold it within the tube itself. If you find it hard to hold on to smaller things, you can grab like one side or the other. There's lots of points that you can hold on to, because even though I like this one's nice and easy, some people will struggle holding something so thin. They might not have a good enough grip. But with this, there's lots of points you can hold it, and I'm not even holding it all that hard. So if you haven't got very great grip, this one's the method for you. So again, we'll make it fairly chunky. It's nice and easy. If you have trouble, you can even lay it down. You can rotate it. You can do whatever works for you with this one. This one's a nice, easy method. I'd say the easiest by far. So I think we'll stop about there. So we'll cut that off. Again, we'll cut a piece to be the tie. Pop that up there for the moment. And I do the same to make it even stronger, because sometimes your wool snaps when you pull it really tight, so I tend to double it up. And then you can slot it between those two. So you're totally around your pom-pom ball, and then bring it between those two, and it slips in there easy. It's a nice little guide, this crevice, so you haven't even got to fiddle with trying to get it in between a little gap. You can just thread it in there, pull it in there, sorry, and then tighten. And you can give it a little squeeze. That'll make it even tighter, because it doesn't matter what happens to these toilet roll tubes. I tend to squish them up to get them out of the way, so we can get nice grip in there. And then we'll double back on it, make it nice and tight again. We'll do one more. And then same again, we'll just snip our loop, and then you can either keep that piece as the bit that you attach it to things with, or you can trim it down like the rest. Now this one, you can either rotate these and cut through the groove. So you can slip your scissors in there. And same again the other side. We'll just rotate it. And follow the groove. Scissors fit in there ever so nicely. You haven't got to fiddle around trying to find the gap, trying to wedge the scissors in, having a potential accident along the way. And they can be reused. So you can make as many as you like. Pop them there for a second. And that is our toilet roll pom-pom. Again, we'll pop him there, so we'll do all the tidy up work in a moment. They are the free and easy ways. A scrap of card, be anything. This was an old cool mat for my dogs, an old cool mat box. Any scrap of card you've got, you can use cereal boxes, literally any scrap of card. And same for these, toilet roll tubes. There's always toilet roll tubes kicking around somewhere. Or kitchen roll tube and just cut it in half. Now the other thing that I have is I have some, you can buy these. These are the non-free options. These are pom-pom makers. Really handy little toys to have. Now I use these for when I want to make pom-pom animals. So like this is one in the making. I haven't finished it yet. This will be a cat eventually. It doesn't look like it right now because I haven't put its ears together and I haven't put its tail together, but I've started to form the face. We'll pop him over there. This is what I use for them. Same for, where is he? My little pom-pom penguin. This guy was made using this one. And I will go into those perhaps another day, how to make some little pom-pom animals, because they're real fun to do. And these, when I was making the little felt guy for the first time the other day, these are the ones that I was referencing in the only point that I'd use a felting needle, because you use the felting needle to get the eyes to stand out and to bind little feet, little limbs, little extras. So we'll save that for another day. I'll pop him over there. That's what I tend to use these for. But you can also use these. I'll pick the middle size one to make your pom-poms with. And these are also really easy to use. Really easy. I'll give you a little show. I will get some nice blue. Again, you can work from one ball of wool with these. You don't have to cut off strips. Let's find our end. Of course, it helps when your ball of wool hasn't got mangled in packaging. So I can't see the end, and if I just pull it out now, I'm going to get a knot somewhere. So I'm just going to loosen it all up. So we're going to be using all of this anyway. We still managed to get a little knot in there. And here comes the end. The end is in sight. Just got to not be tempted to suddenly pull and end up with a knot. Just let it. The kinder and more delicately you treat wool, the kinder it will be back to you. The amount of times where I figured I could just pull it and ended up with a right fat knot. So yes, the pom-pom maker comes like this. You can open the top, you can open the bottom, and you can also pop it apart. And that makes for a very easy construction of a pom-pom. So open up the one half, you've got this side to hold, and we're just going to wrap it round your two semicircles here. your 2 semi-donuts. And again, this one's a really nice easy one. You can work off 1 ball of wool. You haven't got to thread it through a tiny little hole and cut off lots of little scrappy scraps. And this is where these ones, I've never made a pom-pom animal any other way. These are golden for making pom-pom animals because you have a lot of control over what colour goes where. And you can make them as thick or as thin as you like. I like to make them well chunky. That's why I've got a big ball of wool here, because I know we're going to go through quite a bit of it. I'm just going to keep wrapping that around and around, building up as many layers as you like. You can even change colours if you wanted. You can make half and half, make a rainbow one. You could do whatever you like with these pom-pom makers. They are relatively cheap. This came as part of a set. I got a looming set off eBay, and I think at the time it was only $8.99, and you got like, what was it now, 4 different size looms to work with and a kit of 4 pom-pom makers. And I've since seen the pom-pom makers themselves in the shops, and they're only like a couple of quid, you know, a couple of English pounds, and you can have yourself some fun with pom-poms. So we'll stop right there. And now we've done one half, we can close it down, and that will hold it all in place for you, so you haven't got to worry about that side flapping around or coming loose. And then we'll just start on the other side. You can see how quick and easy this is compared to the old school method of making a donut. We're going to try and match the thickness, so we've got the same going on either side. And these are good as well for limited dexterity because of the different ways you can hold it. Bits are held in place for you, so you don't have to think about bits coming undone. It's nice and easy to have one thing to wrap around. So again, if you find holding either of the others too tricky, this is pretty good as well. Go a little bit further. And you can make it as tight or as loose as you like. I tend to end up making them quite tight. I am a touch heavy-handed with things. I think we'll call it there. And again, we'll just give that a little snip and pop that in. Now, I tend to, if I'm being completely honest with you, and hopefully I've got one to hand, I tend to use a craft knife if I've got one to hand. Let's have a look. This one is an old one, so I don't know if it's going to be sharp enough. I tend to use a craft knife to cut through. I don't think this one's sharp enough. It is not. I need to get that replaced. You can fit the scissors down there fine. I just like to use the craft knife because I find it easier. But you can just pop your scissors in the gap because there is a little groove running all the way through. Just in there. So again, you don't have to wiggle around trying to find out where it is and having a bit of a stab in the dark. Cut that all the way down. And then same for the other side. Find our little groove, get cutting. Make sure we've got every strand. We have. So then you'll have that. We're going to get ourselves a little piece to tie. And again, this is nice and easy because you just push it through the groove. Slip it up through the middle of everything. Again, tie it nice and tight. I'm going to flip it around and tie it again, so I like doing double ties. Another great thing about these, because this is nice and snug, you don't have to try and hold the knot in place to give it a double tie. So we'll do the same here. We'll cut that little loop. And now you can just pop these. I tend to open them up, and pop them apart. So open up and pop out the middle. And that is a very, very nice little pom-pom. Then we can just pop these back together, away, ready for next time. So yeah, these are really, really handy. I do love these. This is what I make pom-poms at home with. These are techniques that I'd use in the workplace, or for individuals or anyone that has trouble with dexterity. So now the fun bit, giving your pom-poms a haircut. So we'll pop that one there. Let's put these in order. We'll call this the window, the toilet rolls, the maker. So if you like to keep a nice loose pom-pom, you'll only want to give it a slight trim. So we've got a few long stragglers here. We'll fluff it all up and we'll have a look. And we're just going to take out the stragglers. I call this giving your pom-pom a haircut. So any that are like ridiculously out there and you just want them to be a little bit more in line with the rest, just give it a little light trim. Fluff it up as you're going, because you'll see the odd one or two that are just a little bit longer than the rest. There. I think he'll be fine. So he's a nice loose pom-pom. I mean tight, but shaggy pom-pom, shall we say. There's another one. The more you play with it, the more you'll find out. Sometimes they'll loop back on themselves. You can't quite see the stragglers poking out. We'll put all that over there. Because believe it or not, this can all come in handy. So it's always good to keep your scraps. You don't have to throw them. You can be very green. And once you've got enough of these, which you will have if you make a large amount of pom-poms or just get carried away, this is really good padding for little gifts, for little tiny toys or little hangable decorations. So I tend to keep a bag I dub the rag bag, and that's where I put all these little tiny offcuts in, bits that I've got no use for. They eventually have a use. So that's our little window pom-pom. Toilet roll pom-pom, again, he's quite nice and loose, so I think we'll keep him nice and loose as well. So we're not going to give him a heavy haircut, and we'll keep these bits as our tie. So we'll ignore those two, but we'll just look at the rest, see how he hangs. And he's got quite a droopy bottom, so we're going to trim up his bottom a little bit. So that's the way he's going to hang. Give him a little shake. And have a look again. We've still got a couple of droopy bits there, so we're going to trim them off. Get him some nice shape. He needs little to no trim in the end, because that's his style. Give him a little shake, get all those loose bits. Move all that out the way, put that up there for our little pile for the rag bag. And yeah, that's our little toilet roll pom-pom. Really nice, really fluffed up, really appealing to see hang. All flop down. So that's that one. Now, our pom-pom maker pom-pom. This one's already quite nice and tight, so we're going to give this one a real hard haircut. So we're going to bring it right back and make it really tight. Now, this is where you can get easily carried away, because it's very sensory and very fun to do, very relaxing giving a pom-pom a haircut. But we are going to be good and not go over the top. And we're going to give him a nice curve, make him nice and round. In all those loose edges. Look for any bits, giving them a little fluff up along the way to see where there's any bits out of place. It's like giving a good haircut. You have to run your fingers through it every now and again to see if there's any bits that are out of place. Now, when I first started trimming up pom-poms, I was thinking, oh, the waste of the wool, because I don't like wasting anything. That's why I gave birth to the rag bag. So it's not a waste. It's going to come in again for something else. Move all these over so you can see. Pop them all up there. All those little fuzzy bits. And there we are getting, we're going to have a look at the bottom here. Keeping our little tie piece out the way, because we're going to keep that so we can attach this to something. And that, a couple more. That is our pom-pom maker pom-pom. Very nice little tidy guy there. You can see the difference. So we'll say medium haircut. No haircut really. He's quite floppy. Tight and tidy haircut. I missed another little piece there. Let's get him. And put all those bits over there. So yeah, move all these out of the way. So we'll actually keep these bits here. There are different pom-poms. Now there are many other ways that you can make pom-poms. These are just nice little ways, 3 nice little ways, because we're not even gonna reference the donut any further. The donut is a god-awful technique, I think. So we're not even gonna consider that one. But these 3 here are lovely techniques, nice and easy, nice and free in this instance, or for a couple of quid you can invest in some pom-pom makers. And they all have a different effect. Now you can cut these up and make them as tidy as your pom-pom maker. They don't have to, just because they're bigger, they don't have to stay flippy floppy. I just thought it'd be nice to see a variation. Another straight piece. Just thought it'd be nice to see a variation. So cardboard, any scrap piece of card, cut into an oblong, cut a little window out, like a little post box, about halfway down. Wrap your wool around the whole thing, leaving a gap in there so you can put your tie through the middle. And that's him. Your 2 toilet roll tubes that you can just hold together like so. Wrap around the whole thing. You can even squash them when you're done like I did. Put your tie through the middle and it'll slot in nice and easy because of this wedge that comes. And then you can always run the scissors through the groove, pop them out, pop them back out, and they're good to go again. And that's this one, Mr. Floppy Pom Pom. And then pom pom maker, open up one half, wrap your wool around, not going over these flat edges, just all in the little rainbow section. See it like a little rainbow. Wrap it all around there, cut, close, same again that side, and then cut right through this lovely groove here, tie through the middle, open them up again at the end and pop them apart for your pom-pom. So yeah, just a little video today just to show you some of the easy techniques. If you want to make a bigger pom-pom, you can always get a friend to hold their arms apart for you, and you can wrap it round, I can't do it to myself right now, but around both arms or both hands, tie it up in the middle, have them pop their hands out. You can make big ones if you have a chair with 2 struts, you know, going up the very back there, and you can wrap it around both of them and make a really, really big pom-pom. We might do that one day. We'll get some other bits together and make a massive pom-pom like the size of my head. That would be quite cool and quite fun to do actually. I've never done that. In fact, it'd be really cool to see if I could try and make something like this. That big. That would be cool. And yes, I'll get the day that I do one of these for you, little pom-pom animal, I'll show you how and why we use the felting needles, because these have both been felted already in the eyes and the nose, so you won't actually see much of a difference. But we'll do that another day. So yeah, hope you had fun seeing these different pom-pom techniques. Just 3 of them, but they are the easiest by far. They get the best results I've found for people with varying degrees of dexterity and even focus, because this thing takes up all your focus. And if you've got a short attention span or anything else going on in your mind, you will get frustrated with this really quickly and cast it off. These you won't. They are tried and tested, lovely little techniques. And yeah, let me know if you've tried any of these, which ones you find easier, and also what pom-poms do you like? Do you like the little tight numbers, or do you like the loose floppy numbers? Or do you like the somewhere in between numbers? But yeah, have a go. As always, it's fun and you won't know until you try. So thank you again for stopping by and checking me out, checking my channel out and joining me for a bit of pom-pom fun. Yeah, take care and hopefully see you again soon.